Hi guys, welcome back. So today I have this beautiful scrap yarn project for you. This is a crochet necklace made using only single crochet and chain stitches, so it's extremely beginner friendly and it looks beautiful when you have it on. So let's get started. For my necklace, I'm going to be using some cotton yarn in a coral color. You could use any yarn that you want. This project does not use too much of yarn, so a little bit of scrap will do. I'm going to be using a crochet hook that matches my yarn. So for this project, I'm using an F hook or a 3.5 millimeters hook. Also need some beads. Most importantly, you need a needle. So if you see over here, I have a tapestry needle which generally works for my yarn, but if I try it with my beads, it doesn't fit through. So you need a regular sewing needle, but something with a slightly larger eye. So like this one has an eye large enough for my yarn, plus it fits through perfectly. Also, you'd need a small pair of scissors. Now, in order to start making our necklace, we're going to be working on this portion first and then adding on the adjustable clasp at the back. To start with your necklace, first start with a slip knot. So make a loop with your tail end, make another loop inside the first one, pick it up and tug. Now insert your hook and tighten. To make the main part of this necklace, you need to chain as many chains as you want. So if you're making this for a smaller child, then chain fewer chains. If you're making it for an adult, then maybe a few more. In order to create my chain, I'm going to yarn over and pull through. That's 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, and just continue doing this until you reach your desired number of chains. So I've chained up about 44 chains and now we can start with row 1. So for row 1, if you see on this side, you can see the V's that are formed in your stitches, and if you flip it over, you'll be able to see these tiny little bumps between each of the chains. So what we'll be doing is we'll be working on these bumps for row 1 only because I want the necklace to fall flat. I'm going to turn my work around. This is the side with the V's. I'm going to flip it over, skip the first bump and go into the second one. So I'm just going to insert my hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So I'm doing a single crochet. Now on to the next bump, insert my hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Into the next one, insert my hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And now I'm going to repeat this all the way until I reach the end. So now I've completed my entire row of back loop single crochets. What I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work around. Now starting with this stitch right here, I'm going to place my first single crochet. So insert and yarn over and pull through. Into the next one, another single crochet, into the next one, another single crochet, and continue this until you reach the end of the row. Make sure that when you're doing your single crochets, you're taking both the chains. If you see in this V, I'm inserting my hook into both the stitches of the V, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Once you reach the end of the row, I'll see you back here again. So now I'm done with this row as well. If you want your necklace to be a little chunkier, you can add a few more rows of single crochet. I prefer it to be a little thinner, so I'm going to stop with this row now. So this is the same way I did my previous necklace as well. I did my first row of back loop and then one more row of single crochet. Now what we'll be doing is we'll chain one and turn our work around again. If you notice in my previous necklace, I haven't started putting the beads from the beginning itself. I've given it a little bit of a gap and then started putting my beads. So I'm going to just place 4 single crochets before I start adding my beads. So in my first stitch, I have my first, my second, third, and the fourth. Now before we start adding our beads, what I'm just going to do is cut off a bit of this yarn. So I'm just going to approximately take a little bit that I would need, maybe about this much, and then just snip off my yarn right here. So now what I've done is I've threaded up my needle onto my yarn, and I'm going to pick up my beads and just thread them through. Now getting back to my crocheting, I've done my first 4 single crochets. Now I'm going to do my next one. But before doing my next one, I'm first going to move one bead here. So when I move this one bead up to my work, I'm just going to tug this side a little bit so this stitch becomes a little bigger. Now I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through both like a normal single crochet, and just tug this to make it tighter. So if you see, I have my first bead over here. In the very next stitch, I'm going to do a regular single crochet. Now in the next one, I'm going to move another bead, tug this a little bit, go into the next stitch and place a single crochet. Push the bead through, tighten, and in the next stitch, do a regular single crochet. So now I'm done attaching my beads and I still have 4 more stitches left. So if you remember, we did 4 single crochets at the beginning. We're going to place 4 single crochets at the end as well. Don't worry if you have a stitch extra, 1 or 2, it doesn't really matter. And here it is. The main part of my necklace is done. So now if we look at the previous necklace I made, I attached the string to the middle of my work. If you attach it to the bottom, then it becomes really heavy and it won't sit properly. So in order to do that, we are over here, we want to reach here. So I'm just going to go into that stitch and slip stitch. So yarn over and pull through both. Now I've reached the middle. Now I'm going to just create chains as tightly as I can for the length that I want. I want to make this adjustable, so I'm going to make this side pretty long. So now that I've reached the desired length, I'm just going to snip my yarn off and pull it through. So I have one side of my chain done. Now I'm going to repeat this on the other side. So on the other side, I'm going to find the midpoint. So the midpoint is over here. Grab my yarn, pull it through, make a knot, again insert my hook, pick up the working part of my yarn and start making chains. So you would make the same number of chains, or at least until the same length as you did on the other side. So now that I have this almost equal to the other side, I'm just going to snip my yarn off and pull this side through as well. So now in order to make this into an adjustable back, I've just threaded one side of my chain. I'm going to take this bead and insert it through. And now I'll repeat it for the other side as well. So I've threaded the other side as well. I'm just going to insert it into the bead and pull this side through. So now if you see, there's my necklace, and I have a bead to adjust it to as big or as small as I want it to be. I'm just going to sew in my edges, and I'll see you back here again with my final necklace. So here you have it. The beautiful necklaces are ready. If you like this video, please share it with all your friends. Comment below and let me know what you want me to try out next. And subscribe to my channel. Until next time, bye bye.